right. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted that in the room we have people from across campus, faculty and students, and also from Australia. So that's pretty special. I think this is our first presentation where we actually had international representation from halfway around the world. And we have lots of people in the waiting room. And of course, we will be recording this for posterity. So it is my absolute delight to introduce Michelle Pannor Silver, who is the author of the book that we're going to be discussing for this book launch. She's a professor and chair of the Department of Health and Society at the University of Toronto, Scarborough, and she's cross-appointed faculty members at our Institute for Life Course and Aging. And this is actually, I think, our inaugural book talk that we've done. We've had many colleagues publish books, but we haven't gotten around to doing a book talk before, but hopefully this is the start of many. Her research examines perceptions about aging, retirement, and work identity, and health information seeking. Her work has been featured in outlets including the Times Literary Supplement, Forbes, Zoomer, the Globe and Mail, and University Affairs. She's done keynotes at international venues, including TEDx, the American Medical Association, the Japanese Consulate, Canadian Women in Medicine, and the Association of Retirement and Higher Education. And she's done grand rounds for notable medical institutions and alumni associations. Her first book, which was a big success, was called Retirement and Its Discontent. And it was about the journey some face as they struggle to recalibrate their sense of purpose in retirement. And this, her second book that she's presenting today, is called Aging with Agility, and it examines how perceptions about aging influences exercise habits among a unique set of elite athletes and some ordinary folks who came to be in the best shape of their lives in later life. And I'd like to also acknowledge in the room is a former Olympian, our colleague, Dr. Bruce Kidd. Thanks. Come on in.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to be here and to be the inaugural book launch speaker. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the invitation. It's so nice to be in such good company. And I'm really happy to share a bit about my book today. I want to start by asking, and this is for a free book, if you had to name one thing that helps us stay agile as we age, what would it be? This is just for folks in the room. Okay. Oh, come in, come in. One thing that helps keep us agile with age.
Exercise.
You got it. Okay. So indeed, folks in the room and internationally recognize that when it comes to staying agile, exercise is the most important tool that we have. And my book, Aging with Agility, is essentially about people's perspectives of aging and exercise. And the heart of Aging with Agility is the stories of 6 people, including elite athletes and regular people. They were all in later stages of mature adulthood when I interviewed them. And in a way, I ended up with this top 6 list. So I thought that I'd share that with you today and just be really upfront with it. This is the hit list here. And then I'm going to share a little bit about the people who helped me learn these. So habit number 1 for aging with agility is use whatever you can to help motivate yourself to move, whether it's being part of a team, an individual desire to look good, internal motivation, or some other factor that's providing the pressure to keep you moving. Habit number 2 is that it's okay, actually it's good and it's not selfish to find the confidence to make exercise an important part of your life as an adult. To age with agility, one must learn to focus on moving and engaging, Give it the attention that you give to your work or your family or to other priorities in your life. A fourth habit that I learned is that resilience is both the process and the outcome of adapting to challenging circumstances. It's about being flexible and being able to bounce back from adversity. Optimism is allowing yourself to be hopeful about the future. And finally, aging with agility means holding a commitment to exercising your body through movement. So let's start with motivation. And I want to tell you a little bit about Max. Max was born in Canada and moved around a lot as a kid. But no matter where he went, it seemed that hockey was always his town's religion. After a serious injury early in life, Max developed an addiction to painkillers that led to subsequent addictions. When his professional athletic career ended, Max questioned his identity. He was in constant pain, and he spent years battling with addiction. He eventually found work as a coach in the world of hockey, but he tried to coach ideas about motivation and willpower to younger players, he found himself questioning these concepts. Despite popular understandings of athletes as heroes and ultimate examples of what humans are physically capable of, being an athlete, being an elite athlete, can pose serious challenges to physical and mental health. Max's story chronicles lots of challenges. It's almost a story of win, defeat, injury, addiction, rinse, and repeat. Ultimately, Max's story illustrates that things which seem impossible can be achieved. And in many ways, our later chapters can be our strongest. When I asked Max to give some advice, and I was always asking them, like, give me some advice, give me some advice. And so I'm going to just share with you after I say a little bit about each, just a quote from them. So this was the most like succinct piece of Max's advice and what he said. I'm going to read you. Being truly competitive means playing through to the end. Look, you should always keep your eyes on the prize, go for the goal, and remember being mentally ready is as important as physically ready. I guess most of all, I would say, take care of your body like you're going to need it for a long time. Never thought I was going to be around this long. I might have done things. Yeah, I would have done things differently if I ever really thought I'd make it this long. This was also one of the few quotes where there weren't a lot of bad words in there. So I think that's quite meaningful. I'm going to move on to the next trait, which is confidence. And again, I'll tell you a little bit about them and then share these quotes, which I really think are sort of the heart. So next on the list is confidence. Janice is an incredibly confident woman who never engaged in sports as a child, but she came to be in the best shape of her life in mature adulthood. She describes herself as a free spirit. She lived most of her life in Southern California. And today she's a unique combination of fiercely independent and highly constrained by youthful versions of beauty. Janice had multiple cosmetic surgeries and is no stranger to Botox, hair dye, and the latest creams and potions. She was also no stranger to being the, quote, other woman, though her feelings about intimacy have changed over time. And now in her 80s, Janice is in the best shape of her life. Her story illustrates the importance of having the confidence and good fortune to take care of yourself in ways that feel authentic to you. And the advice that Janice shared was, if you're feeling meh, get up and move. If you're feeling pain, use that to motivate yourself and move around. If it's anxiety, then use that energy to go for a walk. If you're feeling that you want to slim down, go for a walk. If you're tired, get up and do some movement. Just move. Use whatever it is that's bothering you or whatever works for you to keep moving. Don't say, I'll do it tomorrow. Who knows if there's tomorrow? There's today and today will not be wasted if you do some moving. Okay, habit 3 is focus. An elite athlete's focus is always on improving and winning. Connie had been an elite gymnast who performed with the Japanese national team. She spent most of her youth focused on competition, especially on winning. Throughout her life, she struggled with bulimia, loneliness. Even when she stopped being a gymnast, she found herself struggling with the need for perfection. Elite athletes tend to focus on their athletic goals, often to the point of developing a well-rounded self. And then their athletic careers come to an end early in the life course. This rigidity can lead to challenges when it comes time to move on. Eventually, Connie found ways to channel her competitive spirit. It took time, but she found ways to redirect her focus once her athletic career ended, and she sustained a focus on movement that served her well into her 80s when I interviewed her. Connie's story is about taking the discipline that she learned as an athlete and focusing it on ways to keep moving every day. And so Connie's advice was, the sooner you can figure out the resources you need and how to get them, the better off you are going to be. Keep in mind that you are going to need to give too. You will feel better when you give, but it might not always be an even exchange. Pay attention as if your life depended on it. This is important in school, at work. Pay attention to your children and pay attention not to fall down. That theme comes up a lot. Always, best if you can focus on what you are doing. Let yourself feel content with that. Be ready to share what you're good at, and then don't be afraid to figure out the resources that you need. I often thought with Connie that she should be like an executive coach. The advice that she gave was very eloquent. Okay, habit 4 is about resilience. Originally from Mexico, Yvonne moved to the US when she was a very young and skinny child. In her early 20s, she became a young wife, a mother, and soon thereafter, a young widow. Her early adulthood was marked by struggles to hold down work, to manage her steadily increasing weight, and to keep her footing. Of course, over the course of her life, Yvonne's physical activity became limited. By her 40s, Yvonne found it difficult to walk. By the time she was in her 50s, Yvonne used a cane and a walker, and she spent most of her time seeking medical advice. By the time she was 60, she'd outlived all of the more senior members of her family. Her daughter describes Yvonne's lifestyle as neglectful and physically dependent. And though she stays most of the day in her bed, Yvonne takes a humorous approach to aging. She maintains an upbeat personality supported by her daughter, who marvels at her mother's resilience. And Yvonne's advice quote was to say, "Nobody is on their deathbed wishing they worked more. I heard that on TV the other day. I'm sure it's true. People regret more working on things they didn't feel good about. I lay here and I wish I did more things to enjoy life more. Don't lie in bed wishing you did more. My advice is enjoy and take the risks you need so you can enjoy life more." Habit 5 is optimism. Non-competitive by nature, Anand has no affiliation to sport and never identified as an athlete. He is an eternal optimist with a sense of calm and kindness that makes you want to be around him. He exercises every morning and again 2 additional times throughout the day. Anand is very much in touch with his body's strengths and limitations. He lived most of his life with a body harshly affected by childhood polio. It's somewhat ironic that Anand is skilled in finance because he's completely unimpressed by material possessions. Much of his life has been spent working numbers for various charities and working with animals. He is well-read, multilingual, and has lived on multiple continents. Never married, Anand lives in Berlin, and he enjoys a relationship that's best characterized as living apart together. He never wakes up wondering if he's going to feel motivated to move. Anand simply moves as best as he can, as often as he can, and he hopes that he will always continue to do so. And Anand's, when I asked him to give some advice, he said, Michelle, I don't like it when people ask me to give advice. A lot of it has proven wrong, but I'll humor you here. I will say, don't focus on fear and do not fear what comes next. You do not know that what will come next will be worse. There are no special prizes for fearing the worst. Look at me. My life has only gotten better. I suspect it will continue to do so. And we're almost through the countdown. The final habit here is to commit. Felipe was an elite judo player and has sustained a lifelong commitment to being physically active despite living with intense bouts of chronic pain. His body is his temple, exercise his religion. Felipe credits his personal struggles with athletic retirement and his experiences during the AIDS epidemic with helping him to reestablish his sense of self-worth. Originally from Brazil, Felipe credits his competitive nature and chronic pain as helping sustain his commitment to personal fitness. He also credits his long-term relationship with a younger man as rationale for his intense drive to stay in shape. Now a master athlete, Felipe swims regularly, maintains his athletic identity, and works to manage his chronic pain. And his quote, I really like this one. His quote was first, he had a lot of advice actually. So it was kind of hard to filter through, but this is really my favorite. He says, first, I would advise people to brush your teeth. Like me, I wasn't always taking the best care. Then I was brushing too hard, so lots of receding. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start brushing with my left hand. So I have this daily task and now don't brush so hard. So I would say brush, okay? No excuses. Also, learn how to fall. This is important. In judo, we practice this. In life, most people don't. Learning how to fall is probably the most important thing though. And I'm gonna wrap up by reminding us that one of the many unique traits that distinguish us from other living beings is our ability to make a conscious decision to change our patterns of behavior if or when our habits lead us down suboptimal paths. As they embraced or neglected their bodies, the people I interviewed each shared different ways of thinking about movement, physical limitations, and human potential, aging, and exercise. I'll leave you with my hope that the stories shared throughout my book might help as you navigate your own ways to stay agile through your chapters in life. Thank you.